Sexy bunny girls. Why a bunny? Of all the animals out there, why not a cat or a minx or a fox? Why was a bunny chosen? Why did Playboy magazine choose a bunny to be their icon? What is so sexy about a bunny? And what does a bunny girl have to do with the Easter bunny? I will answer all of these questions today. I'm a college girl and I study anthropology, sociology, and the evolution of pop culture icons. Today we are going to talk about the evolution of the icon of the sexy bunny girls. So where does the word bunny come from? Well, originally it is a Scottish word dating back to the 1500s, the word bun, meaning a small roll of bread, or if I were to wrap my hair into a ball, it would be called a bun. The letter Y was added to the end of the word to make the word bunny, meaning a small bun, a small roll of bread, or a small bunny in my hair. Later on, this was referred to the tail end of a rabbit. So the word bunny refers to the tail of a rabbit, but as time went on, people got lazy and started calling rabbits bunnies. Now, bunnies are cute and soft and cuddly and sweet, and the Scottish actually began to use the word bunny as a term of endearment for young children, young girls, or attractive women. So you might hear a boy who has a fondness for a girl say, "You are as cute as a bunny," or a father say to his young daughter, "You are my little bunny." So back in the 1600s, the Scottish actually began the tradition of associating the word bunny with girls. Now we're going to talk about the sexy bunny girls and their outfits in just a little bit, but first I wanted to point out that rabbits and bunnies have been associated with sex for a very long time. We actually have many sayings in our language today in reference to that fact, such as, "Hey, you want to go back to my place and do it like rabbits?" Or, "Don't those people believe in birth control? They keep multiplying like rabbits." Or, "Hey, those two people hooked up just a few minutes ago and they're at it like rabbits." The other day someone called me a sex bunny and I wasn't really sure if I should take that as a compliment or not. So in ancient times, in pagan religions, dating way back to the ancient civilization of Babylon, there was a spring festival that would celebrate new life and love and fertility, and a rabbit was the symbol of all these things, especially fertility for obvious reasons. We held on to this tradition and it later evolved into what we know as Easter. We also held on to the rabbit or the bunny, and now we have what we call the Easter bunny. So why are rabbits so associated with fertility and multiplying so much? Well, as a matter of fact, a rabbit has a gestation period, meaning from the time they get pregnant to the time they have their babies, of around 28 to 31 days. That means about every month, a rabbit could produce a litter of rabbits. Now, a litter could be up to 7 rabbits at a time. So 12 months of having babies a year, meaning 7 babies every month, one single poor mama rabbit could have 84 rabbits in one single year. Can you imagine? That is multiplying. Another interesting fact about this is that a rabbit can actually become pregnant again while she is already pregnant with her first litter. So rabbits are all about multiplying, which is why we associate rabbits with fertility and sex. Now that's a little bit about bunnies and why they are associated with sex. But what about those bunny girls? Where did that come from? Well, you probably already guessed that Playboy magazine was the one that made that popular. So you know the logo of the rabbit that Playboy magazine has with the little bow tie? Well, that logo was chosen at the very inception of Playboy magazine. But the bunny girl costume didn't come until later. In 1959, Playboy magazine did an article on the Gaslight Club, a very popular, hip Chicago club where all the VIPs would take their lady friends. And the Gaslight Club had waitresses that would have corsets and fishnet tights, and they were called the Gaslight Girls. Hugh decided a year later to open his own club, and he wanted to mirror it after the Gaslight Club. So somebody suggested dressing the waitresses up like rabbits, after the logo of the Playboy bunny. At first, Hugh didn't really like the idea, but they brought in the very first prototype of the Playboy bunny, and Hugh just loved it. Thus, the Playboy bunny was born. Now, another interesting thing about the bunny girl outfit is that it was the first service uniform registered with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Another fun fact is that these bunny girl outfits were so tight that they were personalized for each waitress at the Playboy Club. They even had a full-time seamstress working backstage to make all of these costumes for all of the waitresses. At the end of their term of being a waitress at the Playboy Club, they actually had to turn in their bunny uniforms, and now it's actually virtually impossible to find one of the original Playboy bunny costumes. Now, even though Playboy magazine popularized the idea of a sexy bunny girl, the idea became so popular throughout the entire world that it became a sexual icon disassociated with Playboy magazine. For instance, in Japan, the idea of a bunny girl is so popular that it's actually an icon there that's not even associated with Playboy at all. So, in the United States, we have a Playboy bunny, but in Japan, they have bunny girls. Now, just to mention one more thing about Japanese bunny girls, there is a common theme in Japanese comic books or anime where there is a kind of character that's a hybrid between an animal and a human. For example, like a cat girl or a fox girl or a bunny girl. They have a word for this. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but they call it kimono mini. Now, you've probably heard of anime or manga, but do you really know the difference? In an upcoming video, I will talk about the difference between those two, plus cosplay, the act of dressing up like your favorite fantasy character and where all of that started. You'll be surprised to find that it actually began in America. Also, Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm going to be talking about where all that started, the tradition of giving roses and chocolate. Why do we do that? Was there actually a Saint Valentine, and why was that associated with love? Now, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, I'm going to be doing a series of videos on the art of kissing. Can kissing really be considered an art form? What does it mean to kiss someone passionately? How good of a kisser can someone actually be? We'll find out. Thank you so much for watching. Please rate my video. If you like it, let me know. If you want to know about something, leave it in the comments and I can try to make a video on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psyche Truth channel.